How the heck are you, everybody? I'm Fastidious. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 64 on our grind for glory. We've got a nice one today. We hit a big milestone. We beat Tide 115. This is definitely the hardest stage of Tide I've encountered yet. I'd been warned about it for like over a month by people that already reached it. Big shout out to Mob Bucket because we used his stun stall strategy on Aracha to defeat it. So check out the video that he put out in the description. It was definitely helpful and it helped me learn what my own visual cues for timing would be that I'm going to teach you guys right now. So without further ado, guys, this is a tricky stage. It doesn't matter if you have more BP, as you're going to see. I beat this on mobile earlier. So let me go to display capture. Let's go full screen here and let's get this video up and running. As it starts to load, I'll explain what's going on here. Essentially, guys, you can see I have like 5.4 million BP, and this is, let me actually rewind so you can see the required BP, or the suggested BP, I should say, is 5.17. So we are over by like 230,000 or so, but still it's really hard, and you have to, at least for me, I had to use this kind of stun strategy popularized by Mob Bucket. So again, big shout out to him. So one thing you're gonna see right now, I very much have stacked, I'm gonna be pausing a lot, guys. I very much stacked like my best healers and my best DPS on the bottom. That's because I'm using Ezreal, and Ezreal can't get one shot, and he's gonna keep someone else from getting one shot. If it lines up right, a few of these people are gonna survive, and you'll actually see here Nyx and Vortex are gonna survive when the Aracha boss finally does her big shockwave. If you don't know what I'm talking about because you haven't tried the stage yet, do not worry, you will see it very shortly. However, I presume if you're watching this video in the future, it's because you got stuck and you needed a little help. So that's why we are here. You're also gonna see right now, I'm about to switch my Deimos and my Volca on the top here. And that's just because there actually is a bit of thought and placement that goes into this stage compared to some other stages. My Deimos puts out a lot more damage than my Volca. My A5 Deimos, pretty potent, especially for single target. And as you're gonna see here, we quickly kill all the mobs. It's just the Volca, the Aracha boss we have to worry about. So I tinkered with it, and as you can see here, the run is far, you're not gonna see my other attempts, but the run's really smooth here. In my other attempts, there was one time I was about to beat it, and obviously I canceled because I was like, I gotta film it. And it was much rockier, but with this switch of Volca and Deimos, it made a big difference. And that's not to get into the weeds of my composition, that's just to say, hey, on stages like this, when it gets to higher levels of Tide, you do have to start being cognizant of your hero placements and who you want where, who you want hitting the boss or the mobs at different times, right? Okay, so without further ado, let's kick this thing off. Rampage level 1, you see no bonuses. The trick here, guys, is we want to do as much damage as possible before that bar fills up. Here comes the mobs, and here comes Aracha. She's the boss for this stage. Basically what's going to happen when she reaches around the beginning of these stone tiles, she'll take a couple steps and she'll do a move like this, and she'll do a big shockwave, or she'll do a small shockwave, and right after that she's getting ready to do a big shockwave, and that's going to cue when we are going to click this button over here, right? So this is our this is our, I guess it's Olog, this golden Olog spirit that we summon. And we need to time this out perfectly because there is a stun mechanic that he can inflict upon Aracha. Who's to know if this was intentional by the devs or not? All that matters is that it works. So let's go down here. I'm gonna stop it exactly when so that's the move. She throws out her left arm, I guess. She goes like this. And then the way I time it, and I'll replay this for you guys in 1 second, is she's gonna start to take her next step after this, and that's when I click. So there's her step, and that's when I click. So let me show you that exactly in real time. So she goes, she starts to take her step, and then you can see it goes gray. That's when I clicked. And then there she got stunned. So let's just watch it one more time so you can really understand. She's gonna swing out her left arm. She goes for this. Now we summon Olog. She's gonna do her big stun, but we stun her right there. You see she's flashing white a bit. And then she's not actually able to do her big giant wipe. You can see here, you can't see Cratch. He's hidden away. Shout out to Cratch. But who is that hiding in the corner? Morgan, Dolores, they stayed up, and everyone on the bottom side totally fine. This buys us a lot of extra time. It lets our DPS stay alive that much longer. You're actually going to see it really smooths it out. I'm going to show you the stats at the end of this, and Khamet's already dead, right? But Khamet already is our top damage dealer because that little extra time of him not getting wiped right away let him quickly kill all the mobs, as you're going to see. So now everyone, especially our single target melee guys on the floor, they can focus on her, and now the fight just runs. There's nothing much left to do. We'll trigger these as they come up, as you can see. I went for the Dragon's Breath the Ajax Spirit first, and then I went for the Valkyria, the Lightning Spirit right now. As you can see, we can rewind a quick second. We'll rewind to when I click the Dragon's Breath. So yeah, basically while Khamet's still up here and we use the Dragon's Breath, we're able to wipe like all the mobs, and now we focus just on Aracha. So you'll see here, right when this goes up, I immediately click it. Now I summon Ajax, click. There comes Ajax, and you see there's only 204 mobs. So you see we killed, between Khamet just died, but between Khamet and Ajax, we killed almost all of them. And now the second Valkyria is ready, the Lightning Lady. Here she comes. I think it's supposed to be Valkyria. We'll get a little bit more damage, and you can see Volka died. You see that switch I made in the beginning? Volka died, but Deimos is still alive back here, and he's gonna put out some proper damage. Not a ton, but it's enough to make the difference. Nyx is still up as well, but most importantly, Ezrein and Vortex are up, so our floor units are getting some healing. And then here, guys, you'll see I'm gonna have tons and tons of burns. That's another change I made. You can see here I got Arrogance and Wrath at the bottom, the closest to my healers, to kind of try to increase the priority that they are the ones that are getting healed. Because they're putting out the most burns. And that dot damage, you can see we're melting away the bar now, and it's usually because these huge ticks of the burning. They're gonna hit for like 5% each time. So really smooth, by far way smoother than any other strategy I tried. If you have any specific questions, let me know. But it does come down to that big tip from the main man Mob Bucket. And shout out to his video, because I did have to watch it all, because you're gonna have to learn the timing for yourself. Like I said, for me, it's like she throws out her left arm and then she starts the step, and that's how I know it's time to click. Let me just play that part for you one more time, and then I'll show you the rest of this clip here. So let's just play it, and I won't say anything. We can just focus. There you go, and right, the way the timing works, when he like lands, when Olag crashes down, she gets stunned, Dolores is up, Morgan's up, Khamet's up, and that makes all the difference. So let's go to the end of the battle now, and I'll just show you guys a couple other things that I recorded after this. But it's a big stage to beat, because I was actually right after this immediately able to beat 116. 117 I'll be locked out of for 1 or 2 more days. But you can see big rewards there, an Epic Hero Soul Stone, and a Legendary Skill Crystal, pretty cool stuff. Here are the stats, guys. You can see, I'll pause it right now. So you can see Deimos, it's pretty solid, 5.6. You'll see these much bigger numbers from like Khamet, especially. That's an Arrogance. This is because they were doing the most damage on the mobs. Like Khamet, even though he died, one of the first DPS to die, he's just that good at taking out the mobs. But it's really, you can just see we're getting some solid single target DPS. It doesn't matter much though. You can see like Baron's doing a ton of damage from the AoEs from when his shields explode, right? It's basically just having your guys survive. Cratch with a solid 9 million. Stats don't matter too much here, but in case people wanted to see, there you have it. So moving right along. Yeah, guys, I just show you at the end here. We are, in fact, this was at the very end of day 64. So let's head back into, oh, and I also have my exact BP from when I did it. So if you want to know, is my account strong enough? Like if you're asking yourself that question, we're at 1.456 million BP, so 1,456,001, it looks like, or and 10, maybe that is. Pretty solid stuff. Yeah, 1,456,010 BP, account level 66, and yeah, there you have it. Let's head back into our actual account now. My phone was dying, don't judge me for that. Let's go here, turn off this display capture, back into the game. So you can see day 65 just started now. We're 21 minutes into it. What was I going to show you? Oh yeah, I want to just quickly demonstrate the Tide talents in case you were like, hey, I want to make sure my talents are good. A lot of people earlier on, and I did follow this, say hold off as long as possible on these healing talents. It doesn't matter too much because you're going to stall out anyway, and by the time you reach these really hard levels like 110 plus, you are going to want to have everything above this line completely skilled out. So you can tinker with it a bunch. It's quite cheap to reset. Like now it's 10,000. I've only reset it once. I don't know if 10,000 was the first or maybe it was 5,000. It's very affordable if you do want to do that. But I would say get to this line and then you can start making educated decisions. So you can see here with these over 3 defenders and then over 3 mages, my defenders and mages are stronger than my marksmen. Maybe that will change now that we pulled Setram, but that's how I chose. So like let your account dictate the decisions you make. And then here you can see again, ground units and mages, because those are my strongest units. It's funny that mages are my strongest units, but they are now. You can see I did take my marksman ones up to 2 just because it's cheap. But yeah, next thing I'll do is maybe we can even see it now. I'll do collection right now, even though I haven't run it today. You can see I'm short as it stands. We'll see. Okay, we have enough to improve talent. Looks like we're going to be short here. I'm probably going to hold off another day because these final boosts are pretty significant. Actually, it's only 5%. You know what? We're going to be maxing out Setrum. Let's just go for our marksman boost already. And every time you get one of these big bottom line boosts, guys, you're going to see a nice jump. We went up almost 400,000. Did I do that right? No, almost 40,000, excuse me. 40,000 BP, but that's pretty solid just from clicking a button. It's good stuff. So I hope that helps. And I want to give a big tip here just about mentality before we wrap this thing up. A lot of people, I feel like, I'm stuck at this Tide stage, oh no. And I get that. Like, I wanted the epic soulstone because I'm finally want to start building out Maul, and I need soulstones for him. Like with this soulstone I just put it into him, it brought him to A1. I get the frustration, but the difference in the little bit extra collection of skill dust and stuff, it's not worth hitting your head against a wall over. Look how high this is #1 in the world out of America, _CCC_, right? He's only 19 levels ahead, or actually no, because I'm at 60. He's only 18 levels ahead of where I am now. It gets so hard. I mean, 125, if you're like a madman and maybe you've been wailing a bit, you can kind of rush to get to 125. I'll just show you, because then you're going to get another soul stone for your Volca. Maybe that's something that really excites you, but it gets so hard. The marginal increases from wave to wave to wave only get higher and higher and higher. You can see at 15, we were at 5.17, and now we're already up over 5.5. I know once you're in the 20s, you need like 7 or 8 million. It just keeps, it just keeps ramping up and ramping up. So I would say there's a lot of content that I would focus on over Tide. It does feel really good when you finally do, pass these milestones, but I would say just let it come to you and let your account dictate when you progress. A final tip I'll say, if you notice, let me just hop in here and show you. Tons of legendaries, right? The Tide's all about BP. At its core, it still is a BP check, even though you might use a cute little maneuver here or start paying a little more attention to placements. But look at this: legendary Lord, my only one. Legendary, 2 epics, legendary, epic Lord, epic, but then legendary. It's just much easier to stack BP on legendaries because they have higher base stats, right? So if you do want to like obsess about it, like I 6-starred Cratch for the memes. However, I'll show you right now, Cratch has my 3rd most BP with like the random gear I threw on him. Broken set. He has 1 ancient piece, but pretty solid, 62k BP. That's quite good for my account. So shout out to Cratch. I'll just give you a sense here of where my BP is. And then I want to just quickly address something from the video I put out last night. Hopefully you guys saw it. There you can see this is where I stopped gearing everyone. I'll show you the epics as well. But yeah, last night I put a video out on AoE Arena. These are the only epics that we had in the video up to Dolores. So there you go. And a lot of people are like being like, oh, if you did Cerberus and Aatrox and a chaotic team, or oh, if you had to go up against my Morrigan and Silas and Fierna and blah blah. Of course, but guys, the point of what I was trying to say in my video last night, if you guys missed it, it was a single DPS, a solo DPS comp for AoE Arena. This is what the team looks like. The point I was trying to make is this is a very cheap, affordable, gear, non-intensive composition you can create and still soar high into Overlord. Look at that. We're probably going to break 1,000 in the next couple hours once I get a few more permits, right? That was the point. My point was not saying this is the brand new meta. This is the best possible team. If you go to top rankings, I'm sure Dark Souls running a Cerberus team, right? Let's see. Yeah, look at this. It's not on the level of a, Venoma Legendary Lord lead, Cerberus, Cerberus A1, A5 Khamet. Of course, it's not the perfect, craziest team ever. But also, let's just check out Dark Lord. We're also not level 100, right? In the biggest whale faction in the entire game. The point is, this is just tremendously successful. It doesn't lose. I have yet to lose with it. That is the point, and I will just say a bigger thing about the mechanics of Arena in general, not just Arena. We can head into a fight now. The big point I'm trying to tell you guys is the timing will always change. So right now, I don't know if you guys caught it. You can rewind. Unfortunately, I don't think I can show you right now, but we are about 214 BP with this team. I run a very low BP team. It makes my Khamet even stronger, right? Because he's hitting weaker enemies and just one-shotting left and right. The team we're facing is 226. The way they're gonna scale, we don't know exactly what the stats are of these mobs, but it scales based off the average between the two, right? So somewhere, you know, they take the 214 BP and the 226 BP, and then they try to find an average. If I do like a 331, it's gonna be a very different average, right? So the timing is gonna change. Every time I fight a battle, that battle is saved as my defense. But then the next time someone fights me, my defense might be for when I fought this 226k BP team, right? But if that person has less or more or whatever, it's gonna change all the slight timings of the ults. It's so much easier to win on offense. That is what I'm saying. That's why you just can consistently win, and that's the point I was trying to make is, guys, here's a great team that's really, really easy to build. Basically, no gear necessary except for this comp. The only gear that we need is a Khamet with your best DPS gear, and then Dolores in like a half decent, just pumping her attack to the moon build, right? And we comfortably beat literally everyone. We can't lose. And people said, wait till you find a Cerberus team. Maybe we will find a Cerberus team, but let's be honest, the crazy Cerberus teams, I haven't seen a single one yet, because I think not that many people, even though he is dual faction, not that many people have pulled these new chaotic units. It's just not, you know, I haven't encountered any. Maybe they're all so good they're in the top 300. That's fine, but I think the vast majority of people, in fact, all but 1,100 people are lower than I am, right? So what you got? See there, we lost by 1, but we'll still win. They're lower than I am, but I'm losing my train of thought here. The point is, let's pause it while I regain my thoughts. The vast majority of people, in fact, all but like 1,100 people, are a lower rank than I am, so they will also be facing not Cerberus teams, because those just don't really seem to exist down here. And if they do, it might be 1 out of 5. Just don't fight them. The point is not, hey, this comp will make you top 50 in the world. The point is, this comp will let you comfortably soar and succeed in Overlord rank, right? Sorry to have this little extra tangent about something that doesn't have to do with the video. And actually, this is a great example of something I wanted to show that didn't come up in the last video. So look at that, we're losing by 0.1%, but we're losing. Watch what happens now with how nicely this comp works. It'll be a fun way to end it. We trigger, and look what happens. When everything is going perfectly at the same time, it's just over. It doesn't matter how much they throw at you, because we're controlling the timing. We are in complete control of every tiny little thing that happens. And by the time if we ever do reach this 4th wave, it didn't really come up in the first video I put out yesterday. It doesn't matter how much strong they are, how meta their team is, because you're on offense and because you are a human, not a computer, just running a replay of the last fight, you can control the timings and you can win. Look at that, Khamet MVP, almost doubling their Virna. This is a great team with an Aeon lead. Lashir's really, really good for the crowd control debuffs. So is Mari. Dolores is obviously amazing. That's why everyone uses her. But when you're on offense, here you go. Very, very low gear requirement. If you just have a Khamet, this could also work, you know, with a Hatsit or a Virna or something. It just would be, you'd have to tweak it slightly differently. You might have to bring a second DPS, but this comp allows you to literally have no gear on Volca if you wanted. You could literally, honestly, do no gear on Autumn. I wouldn't suggest it. Just put the worst random inspiration set you have, or just put like a Monospring set. And then Laurel literally doesn't need anything. We only have unleveled rapidity. You only have to build 2 champions, and that was the point. I'm sorry to go on this totally unrelated tangent, but I just want sometimes to make sure people are understanding what I'm trying to demonstrate. And I think at its core, I'm always just trying to show you guys easier, free to play friendly stuff, right? That's who I am. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for putting up with my little tangent at the end. Hopefully we all that we're stuck, this can help you beat 115. One last shout out to Mob Bucket. You helped a ton. Great video. What a G. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Like it if you like it. Comment, let me know. Did you hate my rant? Do you love my tangent? Whatever you want to call it. I don't think I was ranting. Share it with your mother. I'll see you in the next one.
Fastidious.